Hi guys, and welcome back to what I hope is the final installment for this picture. So today I'm going to start on this big background. I'm going to start up here in the left hand corner because it is wet and I don't want to be dragging my hand through it. Okay, so real quick, and then we'll get on to the chatting and the coloring. I am going to be using Carolina Blue, and I guess it really doesn't matter what order. Arctic Blue. I got Teal, Seafoam Green, and Ocean Blue. So those are going to be the 5 colors that I'm going to use. Real quick, I have 6 entries so far in the Mermaiduary hashtag. So thank you for all those that are participating. And I wanted to say, if you put it on Instagram, even if you don't tag me, that's fine. I can still see them. It's nice if you tag me. If not, that's okay, because I do follow the hashtag. But if I don't like your photo, heart it, that means I didn't see it. So make sure that you're spelling the hashtag right. And if I didn't like it, contact me. And if you send it via email, one of us, whoever you send it to, will send a response back, or at least we should, saying, hey, I got it, or thanks, I'll make sure I mark it down. So just to make that clear. Okay, so let's start with this. We're going to go, it really doesn't matter when you're doing this background, which way that you do it. The one thing I am going to say is, so I'm going to work in small sections, but when I get to these really tight sections here and over here, where I'm going to stop, I really don't want to leave like a line of color. So what I do is I make sure wherever I stop, I block in, like I make sure I use all of the same color instead of kind of mixing them together. And the reason I do that is so then when I start again, I'll use that same color, go into that color a little bit, do my section. So this way when I get it re-wet, I can kind of push it into there, and it should erase that line a little bit so you don't get that harsh look to it. And since this is grayscale, you can follow like her darks and lights and everything else. I'm just going to throw color on there. So let's start. So I hope that everybody had a good day today. My day's been kind of crappy, to be honest with you. I'm having, one of those down days, but I think we all get them from time to time. And I wasn't going to record tonight. Like I just wasn't feeling the coloring. Like I don't know. And then I kind of had to push myself to do it. Because this is my escape, and I know that it's a lot of people's escape, I'm just going to put this color right there. So I kind of forced myself to do it, and I said, well, maybe this will help me. So that is what I'm hoping tonight to accomplish. And as you guys can see, like I'm just throwing color in wherever. Now this color I'm going to kind of block in down here. Actually, I should put those 2 colors to the side so I know what to start with. So yeah, so I'm hoping that this kind of gets me out of that hump. But I've been finding myself when I'm having one of those days, I try to always force myself to do something, because if I don't force myself, I feel like I fall down more. And so I make sure that I always try to do something. Okay, so I do try using the largest water brush that I have, and I do tend to like it a little bit more wet than when I'm doing other things, because it kind of pushes that pigment around a little bit more. See, I got Mr. Dirty over here again, and I'm literally, I kind of like leaving my lights a little bit light, but I'm literally just like scrubbing it in. And because this is watercolor paper, it kind of scrubs in pretty nicely. I just like using the bigger brush so that it's a little bit quicker, so I don't have stuff drying before I get to the next section. The only color that I'm seeing that I'm kind of having a difficult time with, but I'm not worried about it, is this darker color that I'm using. And it might be because it's so much darker than the rest. I don't know. I didn't really think about these colors. Like when I went into my stash, I picked out some blues, some greens, and I said, well, let's roll with this and see what happens. I'm going to pick up that color a little bit because I got a little bit darker. And as you guys can see, if you watched my first installment, and like this stuff down here, like I'm not going all the way to the line, so I'm leaving it kind of dark, but you can see like everything kind of lightened up once it dried. Okay, so that's kind of the effect I'm gonna go with. So then I'm gonna keep going this way with it. So I'm gonna pick up, what color was that? This teal that I used, and I'm gonna just butt that up right there. So you are gonna have like a big block of teal, but it doesn't matter, you're not gonna really see it. And we're gonna, let me push all this out of my way. We're gonna do the same thing. So what I was getting at is, you know, we all, well, most of us, you know, picked up this hobby as an escape. I mean, that's what we use it for, right? Escape from the stressful day, escape from, you know, some kind of mental illness, depression, anxiety, etc., or just from a physical illness, you know, like I know there's a lot out there that have like fibromyalgia, you know, different things like that. And this is something that, you know, allows us to feel normal, I guess. I mean, I don't know, I guess normal is just a vague thing because nobody's actually normal, but just to make us forget about, you know, the day or the crappiness of the day, or our problems, or, you know, fighting with the kids all day long. Like I know I do that, especially now that they're on break, but they go back to school soon. But it's something that, you know, and so when I am having these dark days and I don't want to do anything, literally, I'm getting a little bit of line there, but I'm kind of trying to scrub that out a bit. And then I'm going to push that back this way. But we all need that escape. So I have been trying to push myself. I did get the sweetest message today. Totally unexpected. It was by somebody that I don't talk to on an everyday basis, but that I do talk to. And it was, and I'm not going to mention no names, but it was a message just saying how, you know, how happy they were that I'm actually back. I'm making videos again. And that made me feel good. You know, I mean, I've had a lot going on in this community, and all I ever wanted to do was bring this community together, make it about coloring. And for a while, I kind of got lost, and that wasn't happening. So that message kind of lifted my spirits a little bit, and it made me realize why I'm still doing what I'm doing, what I love. Okay, so let's jump back over here. Yeah, because I want to kind of go this way. I'm going to probably do the center the same way. I'm still undecided. I pulled out a few other colors that I was going to do the inside a little bit lighter, and I don't know, I still might, but that is still to be determined. That's why I'm not doing the inside while I'm doing the rest of this. And as you guys can see, like I'm seriously just throwing in color. So yeah, so thank you for that message. It really, you know, it was very heartfelt, and something that I needed. It was almost like they knew, you know, she knew that I was having a bad day. And so that was really sweet. So if you're not working on mermaids, what are you working on? You guys know I love to hear about what you're working on and what you got going on. I know a lot of people are working in their, what's the new Clara Markova book, The Fairy Celebrations. I still have not got that book. I need to get on Etsy, or just go over to Clara Marcova's site and order it. When it was on Amazon, I didn't grab it right away, and by the time I did, which was the very next day, it was already gone. So that is something that I am going to get. But yeah, I know a lot of people are working in that book right now. I'm just going to kind of feather that color up just so it blends in a little bit. And then when I get to this blue, I'm going to kind of feather the blue up a little bit too, all the way up into that dry-ish stuff. But yeah, I see a lot of pictures on Instagram of that book. And then, of course, the Dark Fantasy by Coloring Heaven. I see a lot of people working in that. Enes Guerrero's artwork is just amazing. Mine is still not here yet, but I'm hoping that it shows up soon. I want to do, I do want to get some Michaelina pictures in. Probably not this month. Maybe this month. I don't know. She has one really cute mermaid picture that I have that I really want to do. I just, that one's just a little overwhelming. All right, so I'm just kind of dragging this all down a little bit to not get like that stark lineness. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of her artwork when it was on sale because it was so cheap and it was such a great deal that I couldn't pass it up. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm on Etsy all the time looking at the things that are on sale, or like when my notifications go off and it was like, hey, so-and-so's having a sale today, come check it out. I'm like, oh man, I can already hear the bank ching-chinging on me. But I'm really liking the PDFs. Like I love my books, don't get me wrong. But the PDFs are something that I really enjoy, especially because I kind of lose that fear that I'm going to mess up. Or it's something that I can sit down with my kids and enjoy. You know, we can each print off a page, or I like just printing them off 4 on a sheet. And we each get a little one and we sit here and we color. Even Xander, like he'll do like the Hannah Lynn pictures where the other boys are like, no, we need something more, you know, boyish. And I'm not worried about going over the edges here on this. And I've said this before, Molly Harrison's pictures always have this border. And I go over that with washi tape at the end. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, I'm kind of paying close attention, kind of, around her tail and stuff, just so I don't get a lot of this dark blue in the tail. It was funny. Xander got up this morning and he came in my art room. He always comes in my art room because my PlayStation is in here. And he has his little Lego game on it. And he asked if he can play his Lego game for a little bit. And I said, oh, sure, go ahead. And he's seen this sitting here. And he's like, Mom, why is she all green? And I just thought it was funny. And I was like, what, do you like it? He's like, not really, because people aren't supposed to be green. And I thought that was really cute. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to jump over here. See, this right here I don't like, but again, I shouldn't be playing with it and just leave it. I'm going to just leave it. So yeah, but I am starting to feel better sitting here talking with you guys. I mean, we're not really talking, but I'm talking and you guys might be listening. And in my head, I can hear some of you, you know, chastising me for my moods and telling me that everything's going to be okay. And I know that it is. It's just, again, one of those nights. But it's always good. Like, I have some really close friends that I can depend on. You know, it's one thing when you think you have friendships, and it's another thing when you find that closeness and you're like, oh, so this is what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that I can depend on them, and, you know, we share things that we have going on, but it's just like sometimes you don't, when you get into that headspace, you're like, well, I just feel like I'm always a bother, or I'm always this, or, and then you just don't, like, you don't reach out, and you try to cope with it, and I do pretty good. This is going a lot faster than I thought it would. And like I said, you guys can do this with Neos. If you have the Neos, this is just a project because I don't use these enough that I was determined to just stick with these. See, I got a little line over here. Okay, stop messing with it. I was determined to just use all of these in the whole picture. And I'm not worried about getting it on these leaves and stuff because I got a plan for those. And thank you guys for all the comments. And the first video, the first recording that I did, I was so surprised how many people were like, oh, that's really pretty. I love the green skin. Because I was so unsure. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I stepped out of my comfort zone and did something different, especially for me. Hopefully that was in camera. And I'm going to try. See, this is where I messed up that rock last night. I'm going to try to do this whole section here. And I'm kind of trying to stay in this horizontal direction with my colors, only because I need this blue back again. Lock that in a little bit. Because that's the way that I imagine in my head the water flowing. So I'm trying to kind of keep that fluidity. Oh, I forgot about down there. So when I go, you know, into it with the water brush and I go across it, it kind of stays in that motion. And with my lightest here, like I always just kind of go in and fill everything in. And I can tell, like, because a lot of these colors have just been like sitting on my desk, and I can tell that they weren't upside down because they feel dry, even though they're not, but they feel that way to me. So that's what I was talking about before, of the reason why I just didn't like them. Like, I just couldn't get them to work right, and that's one of the reasons why. Okay, I need a little bit more water, so we'll give that a squeeze. And it's nice because since this is watercolor paper, it takes all this water. Like, I probably could have used a paintbrush with a cup of water. But this is just good for me. So this way, because when I watercolor, like actually watercolor, I tend to use like boatloads of water. Like, I use so much water. And I normally watercolor on a little bit of a better paper than this, but this is like what I use for my coloring pages and for just playing around or practicing and things like that, because the Canson XL is it's pretty cheap. And so I can just keep using page after page after page, and I can go and I can use $5 and get a whole new another pad and just keep practicing. Okay, so this is where I am right now. And I think I am going to bring in some of these light colors. I had a little swatch thingy. We'll just use this. maybe we'll use that one. This one, I think I'm going to take out the two really dark blues. I don't know. I might keep this one. And I might take out this darker teal color. I'm going to make this inside just a little bit lighter. Well, I'm going to try to. It might be a little bit greener. I don't know. We'll see. Again, we're going to work in sections, and I should start up here. But yeah, so if you guys are just, you wanting to play around with watercolor, like I know, like Arteza has some. I'm going to kind of, maybe, I don't really have to be careful on these leaves. Arteza has some like really cheap pan sets of their watercolors. And I really say, if you've never tried watercolor before, give it a shot. It is fun, even if you just do like abstract and just throw color at the page. It is so much fun, and it relieves so much stress. Kathy had got me these books, these watercolor books that I thoroughly enjoy, and they're about relieving stress with paint, with watercolor. And, it talks about just throwing paint on paper, pretty much, is all you're doing. And it is so much fun. Why does that color look the same? But it's not. But it's so much fun. And it does just kind of relieve that stress. Take this really light blue, fill this all in. And when you're done with it, I mean, you could save it, you can rip it up, you can be like, okay, well, now I'm stress-free. And there's ones, that you can do for certain moods. Like if you feel angry, it tells you about, what colors stand for what moods and things like that. And it is an awesome, awesome book. Okay, I'm hoping that this big brush will work fine even in here. I don't see why it wouldn't. So it's kind of the same color scheme. It just might be a little bit lighter. At least that's what I'm going for. Got a little hair off the brush there. And her little strands of hair here, I'm just going right over it too. But yeah, I mean, try some watercolor. And if your printer can't, like my printer, it's just a cheap HP desk jet, and it takes this paper fine to run through it. But if your printer can't handle the watercolor paper, you guys can get a light pad and just trace like part of the image from the light pad to the watercolor paper, because you can see through it. Or like Arteza has graphite paper, where you just put your image on top of it, your watercolor paper underneath it, and you just trace out the image, and it transfers from graphite to the other page with your image. Ooh, I didn't want to go into her hair. Okay. Yeah, it's not much lighter, is it? Hey, I tried. I took out that dark color, but I know that Arteza had a big sale over the holidays of their stuff, their colored pencil. Well, I think everything on their site was on sale, honestly. I know a girlfriend of mine, she scored a lot of stuff on there. So I was happy for her. So hopefully you guys got some stuff from Arteza if you guys are Arteza lovers. I want to try their 120 set. At first I wasn't sure on them because, well, to be honest, the price when Arteza first came out, they were considered a budget-friendly pencil. And so when I seen the price of the 120 set, I was just like, man, for a few dollars more, I can get a whole set of Prismas. And so I was a little like, I don't know. I was really leery about them. And plus, when I colored with them, now I liked my Artezas. Did I always go to my Artezas to color with? No. because I found other pencils that were easier to blend, easier to manipulate to what I wanted them to do. So I found myself not reaching for my Artezas as much. But I found out she had tested them out because she has both the watercolor 120 set and the regular 120 set. And she says that she believes that they changed the formula a little bit because they don't color quite the same. And it might just be her. I mean, she's a little kooky, but I love her anyway. But it's something that I wouldn't mind trying. So that's a set that's on the back burner. It's like, okay, I want to get it, but it's not like high priority on my list. But I do want to try them. So if you guys got them, let me know. If you guys got the 120 set, let me know what you think, if they're different from the 72. I did get a new set of budget-friendly pencils that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to do a review on. And I swatched them all out yesterday, day before yesterday. And I'm still like on the fence on them because they layer really nice and they color really nice. It's the colors. I'm trying to figure out how I would utilize some of the colors that are given, because to me, I need, when it comes to anything, whether it's supplies or books, I want at least 95 or 85 to 90% of it to be what I want. And this way, you know, it's a win, because nothing ever in this world is 100%. Even if it hits the 80% mark, I'm okay with that. But with these, I'm really liking them, and like I can see a lot of uses for these colors. I just don't know how practical they are in everyday coloring yet. I mean, granted, they have, you know, your normal colors, but since it's such a big set, I kind of want them to do more. So we'll see. You guys will see. It'll be coming up soon. I still have those stamps for sale. I'm going to be posting those up. If anybody is interested in stamps, like the wooden block stamps, let me know. Okay, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to finish this section up. But I always like to hear like what people's favorite brand of pencils are. I find that a lot of people over in like Europe and stuff prefer the polys, where a lot of people in the US like the Prismas, and I think that is just based on availability. You know, over in like the UK and stuff, polys are everywhere. You can get them quite easily. They're always, you know, available, where Prismas over there, they're a little bit harder to find. Where's that? There it is. So I'm always interested. And like with me, I started with Prismas, and I loved I started with Crayola. And I still like my Crayolas. I don't care what nobody says. My Crayolas and my Prangs, still like those. But my first like real set of pencils were Prismas, and I still like those. And I know that like Polys and Pablos and things like that were a big learning curve for me. I need to, oh, that'll work. Okay, so as you guys can see, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, like my paper is buckling a little bit, but once it dries, it'll flatten back out. Okay, so that is stage 1. It kind of looks water-y, right? Sorry about shaking. Okay, so for this round part here, I'm going to go back to my reds, but I'm not going to use that super dark red. I'm just going to use those 2 medium reds. And I'm just going to make that red just to kind of pull that color back in a little bit. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be bad if like only her hair was, you know, that bright red, but I like pulling things back in. I'm going to use this skinnier brush here. I heard that the Caran d'Ache water brushes are super nice too. So I'm interested in trying one of them out because right now, to date, these Artezas, I got the 6-pack, the flats and the rounds, are my favorite. And I think that I like them the best because they have like this rubber push thing and I hardly ever have to push it. But when I do, it's just effortless and it's easy. But the water flow out of them is really nice. I don't have to fight it like I do with some of my other water brushes. I like the Pentels too, but after I found these, I was kind of sold on them. Put my finger there so I know where to start. Do you guys ever do that? I do that with counting too. Like, I start counting something around, and then I'm like, wait a minute, where did I leave off at, or where did I start at? I want to come back right here with some more of that blue color. Okay, like I said, this is going to be really quick. Okay. All right. So let's cap these back up. Okay, so let me go back in. Just add a few dots. Even if I don't water activate this, it's fine. You're not going to really be able to see. But I'm going to, parts that I know, it's going to go in with this little brush. All right, that's good enough for me. So there is that. So that is the beginning of this. Now what I want to, oh, I missed a whole little section here behind her hair. And it's such a small little section. Just kind of looking to see if I missed anything else. But I don't think so. I think that should do it. Okay, so then I'm going to use, I grabbed these for all of these like leaves and stuff like that. I grabbed the green tea and the pea green. They're just a different green than I used on her. And I'm hoping that it shows up on this background. And I'm going to just kind of, like I took the darker green, which is the pea green, and I'm kind of just doing these darker leaf kind of things. And I'm going to run it up this little, carefully, up the little stem there. And then I'm going to take the green tea and just kind of, and I picked these colors because they're kind of muted. So if it did go in the blue, it really wouldn't make that big of a difference. It would just kind of blend in with those turquoises and teals. And I will kind of activate them with a little bit of water. So I'm sure I told you guys before, Zayden and Xander got those the Echo dots from Santa. And okay, first off, I have to say, how many national holidays are there? Seriously. That's their thing. Like every day, you know, asking her, and I can't say her name because, well, I have two of them in this room because Xander keeps his in here. But asking her literally every day what the holiday of the day is. And so far, every day has had a holiday but one that I know of. And I'm like, man, some of those holidays are weird. Like one was like National Greeting Card Day. I forgot what the one was. Like the one was just like, are you serious? Like there's a national holiday for that? But yeah, so I thought that was really crazy. I guess I just never paid attention to how many national holidays we had. And down this stem here, like I'm barely letting the brush touch the paper, so this way it doesn't bleed too bad. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it does stand out against that blue background, so it's not too bad. Okay, one more, I think, just this one here. So one of my other question for you guys is, what do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to do your background first and then the picture, or do you do the picture and then the background? You guys know me, like I do my backgrounds almost always last, unless I'm doing like a black acrylic background or some kind of acrylic wash. Then sometimes I'll do that first. But most of the time I always do my backgrounds last. It's on Instagram. I like going on Instagram and just watching people's progress, like when they put up their whips and see, I didn't get no green on that one, and seeing what they started with, you know, because if you can see that their whole background is done and just a piece of clothing, well, then you pretty much know that they started with the background. I can never do that. Partially, I think, because I never know how I'm going to do the background until I see how the picture is going to come along, if that makes sense. Like I have to see how the picture is before I can figure out the rest. Okay, so now let's move all this out of the way. We are going to pull out the shiny shinies. And I'm going to use this really dark one here and then this gold one here. And I'm just going to give that, put my guard up, my windshield. I'm going to give those a couple sprays and let them sit there for a minute. So while I do that, push those up there. And these, you guys, these are the Coliros or the fine text. They go by both names. And I will tell you this, like these are, you know, for 6 paints, they're like, give or take, on $25. Sometimes they're a little bit less, sometimes they're a little bit more. And it does seem like a lot just for 6 paints, but the quality of these is really good. I like the shimmer, I like the shine I get off of them. And $25, these are going to go a long way. Like they pop off. But these are going to go a long way. I've had these now for over a year, and you can, like, and I use them often, and you can tell that I still have so much paint left. So it was worth the $25 to me because I know that I can use these paints for years still to come. So 25 bucks for a couple of years, I'm good with that. Okay, so I'm going to take this white Posca and let me make sure that I can get it. Sometimes this Posca here, and I don't know why because it's a brand new one. You shake it up some more. It just likes to leak. I don't know if you guys have ever had a Posca that leaked all the time, but that's this one. All right, so while I'm waiting for those, I am going to go ahead and I'll start up here, and I'm going to do some lines like this and then rub it with my finger to kind of just make it look almost like, I don't know what you guys would call them, but like those foggy areas in the water. I'm going to do some big, some small, skip a few, 99, 100. But I'm not going to go over the tail. Like the tail is the one spot where I'll go up to, but I don't really want to go across. Some spots are going to be really heavy, some not so heavy. But yeah, I literally just use my finger and wipe. And that's just to add some extra dimension in there. That's good enough for me. Okay. So maybe one more here. Okay, that's good. I don't want to overdo it. And then I do want to put, I did while I was off camera, see, I messed her eye up. I knew I was going to because this Posca pen hates me. But I did take that emerald green, that dark green that I used in her tail piece here. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I wonder if I can get that off. Okay, I might have to go in that green again. But yeah, that's just what I used for her eyes. And of course, there it is. Let's see if I can get that green back in. And her eyes are so small, you guys probably won't be able to see anyway. All right, so let's check on this goldness. So I take my rag and I just use this little bitty, let's see. This is a size 1 round. It's just little, and I like it because it's a little bit longer. So I'm going to take this darker gold. I'm going to mix it up real good. Wipe that off. And this is what I'm going to do this staff with, is just this darker gold color. Again, you guys, I'm holding my breath, but trying not to. And I like these brushes because they have like this finger holding thing on them, even though I find myself not using that like it's supposed to be, like what it's intended for. But I'm trying to force myself to use it because supposedly you get better control that way. But I want to hold it like a pencil, like I want to hold it up here. And what I say is you do whatever you need to do to get the effect that you want. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see the shiny, but there it is. Okay, so then the next thing, spray this off. I'm going to take the lighter gold. Let's get that activated. Okay. And after I activate it, like I like wiping off the excess because sometimes it comes way up here in the ferrule, and I don't like that. Oh, you guys, I'll be right back. Xander just got up. Please hold. Okay, I'm back. That was actually a short thing. He needed something to drink so he can lay back down. Okay, so we're going to grab this paint, and what I first want to do, because I want to try to work from top to bottom, is I want to take this, I want to take this gold, and this is what I'm going to do her hair bands in. That's why I really didn't color them, because no mermaid should go without some kind of sparkle or shiny stuff. So I just want to do these real quick. And with this little brush, like I have to go and dip into the paint quite often. But I feel with the smaller brush, I get more control, because when I pick up a paintbrush or something small, like where I have to do like detailed work, I find my hand like shakes and that I can't get it done. So I would rather use a smaller brush and have to go over it a couple of times than really mess up the whole thing. Okay, so then I want to take, and this is one of those, I hope this is going to look okay moves. Down her back here, I do want to put just a little bit of like gold dots in. Just kind of randomly. Just to give her a little bit of shine back there. That one got a little out of control for me, but it's fine. And I mean, I'm literally just holding my brush upright just to make, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, just to make little gold dots down her spine. And you guys probably can't even see it. Okay, so then what I want to do is I've been debating on this right here, and I'm going to take the darker of the golds, and I believe that's like the strap to her top piece there. But we're going to make that shiny too. And I'm using this darker gold just as a contrast. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to take this light gold again, and I'm going to do her fin. And I hope that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. If not, when I hold it up, hopefully you can see. And again, like, this isn't stuff that's going to show up on camera, and it's not stuff that, you know, when you take a picture, everybody on Instagram is not going to see it unless you make one of those like short videos, or like you lay it down and you photo it from this way. But it's something that you know is there, and you know that you put in just that little bit of extra effort, and those details are what makes us look back and be like, damn, I did that. Like, I made that look like that. And we need to appreciate our art ourselves, because that's the only way that I think that we improve as colorists. And I don't care what anybody says, colorists are artists, like, all the way. Because although we don't draw, or we don't do these creative, you know, huge Picasso pieces, we still have to figure out what we're going to do, kind of plan out our picture, even if you just, you know, pick out your colors as you go, like you're still planning, you know, you're looking at it and being like, oh, I really want to color that green, or I want to color that purple. But yeah, I think once you start appreciating your own work, that's when you start improving. That's when you start seeing a difference in your artwork, in your coloring. because you're like, okay, I really like how I did that. Like, I need to remember that and then carry it over to the next page and then the next page. And, you know, as you pick up different techniques, you can carry them over from page to page or write them down in your little notebook or whatever your method is. Never be hard on yourself for your page, because each page we all learn something. I have one of the ladies, Sheila, she always is like, God, I color so bad. And I'm like, no, you really don't color bad. Like, there is no such thing as coloring bad. It's you being hard on yourself and not realizing that it's not a competition on who can color better than who. It's all about having fun and doing this hobby for whatever reason it is that you started it. Because we all started it for a reason. Even if it was just a color. Color with your kids, color with your grandkids. You know, if that's why you started it, well, that's fine too. But that was still meant for you to have fun with. My paint's getting a little dry. I might have to re-wet it a little bit. No, that's not bad. When it gets dry, drier, it actually works kind of better. But for me, I can't get the finer lines that I want. So I am just going to do and get my windshield, a little spray, rub that all in again. Because now I'm going to go ahead and do her whole tail. Kind of wanting to hold this down, but not touch the gold that I already did. Maybe. Okay, I just had to get past that part there. And this is why I like it a little bit more watery for this section. Because although like it kind of balloons out a little bit more, I can manipulate it a little bit better, if that's making sense to any of you. And if not, well, that's okay. It makes sense to me. I was watching Amanda today on her live stream. I was over there just lurking away, and somebody had, or I think she had said, you know, I was thinking about doing this all in gel pens, and they were all like, yeah, doing it in gel pens. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, girl, that's going to be a lot of work. Like doing the whole tail and like different gel pen scales. But she was actually kind of cruising on it. So I was surprised. I don't think I would have the patience for that. Not right now, at least. Maybe if I gave myself like a month to color a page, I might be able to pull it off. And another thing is when you use this gold and when you go to like move it to like look at it shiny, like you'll see spots that you're like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. And don't worry about those spots. Some spots are going to be thicker, some are going to be thinner. Just roll with it. Coloring is never about perfection. Okay, I'm going to spin this round. Nope, I got to keep it this way, or I'm going to put my hand right in that gold. And then I want to do her little whoopties. Okay. And I want to take this darker gold And we're going to turn her sideways one more time. And let me just wipe this off. So this way I know I just have a little bit right on the tip. Like I'm literally, I don't know if you guys can see, like just literally dipping the tip in there for these little bitty tiny lips that you guys probably can't even see on camera. Okay, and I think that I'm going to say that she is pretty much done. So what I do want to do is, dun, 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 white gel pen, where did you go? There you are. I'm going to put that little white highlight in here. I've been crafting today and yesterday, and I have this green, like I tried it yesterday, I tried it again today. It's a gel pen, and if I rub it on my hand, it'll work. If I put it on paper, it doesn't work. Like, I don't know, it's been aggravating the hell out of me. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Okay, so let's go back up here. Maybe with this little gel pen, I can get those whites where I want them. Yeah, I think she's about done. I do want to just come in and write down and try to follow Molly Harrison's name the best that I can. Okay, that's as good as that's gonna get. And then I wonder if this works. Yep, this works good enough for me. So then I'm just going to sign and date. I'll just do it down here in the corner. And today's date is, well, it's past midnight, so it is 1/4/20. Oh my God, 2020. Like, this is the first picture that I colored in 2020. So that writing that was so weird to me. All right, guys. So let me know what you guys think. And we'll be doing another mermaid picture soon. I already have two that I'm debating on. One of them is on the fence mermaid because it's a little boy and he's in the water and you can see like this much of his mermaid tail, but not an actual tail. So I don't want you guys saying, hey, nope, that one doesn't count, waving your fingers at me. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you guys can see all that shine and that shimmer that I put on her. And until next time, have a great night. Thank you for joining me. My spirits are so much higher now. And I'll see you all later. Bye.